It is cold outside, and that's when pests can start, showing up inside. In today's hands-on gardening, how to get rid of some of those common pests that can actually end up showing up in your kitchen.
Well, in our last hands-on gardening, we talked a little bit about some of those pests that come inside for the winter, the box elder bugs, also the lady beetles, but those are more nuisance type pests. Today, I'm joined by Steve Hunziger from the UW Extension Office to talk more about some of those bugs that can get inside and into our cupboards and can kind of cause problems that way.
We're talking about the pantry pests really here, Corey. It's the weevils, it might be the flower grain beetles that we might be able to start to show up as adults in some of these stored products that we might have in our home. And it's a good idea once in a while, especially if we're not using them all the time, to check out and see if any infestation has started.
Okay, what are the most common ones?
Well, the most common ones are the grain beetles, the drugstore beetles, some of the different weevils that we see, really getting into a number of products that we might be storing, anywhere from herbs and spices to crackers to flours to noodles to cereals, even some of the nuts and the chocolates that we might have around are potential sources for them to live in.
So they're not picky eaters.
They are not. They can host on a wide variety of things.
Okay, so what happens if you discover them? How do you get rid of them?
Well, that food source or that infestation, what they're feeding on is needing to be removed or taken out, because we don't know if the eggs are still there, if the larvae are still there. For sure we see adults. That's typically what we find and see. So removal of that food source is important, and then how we store it from there on is going to be important too.
Okay, so you want to probably avoid a lot of these cardboard storage containers because the bugs will chew right through them.
That's right, and those packaging sources sometimes are where those are coming from or might have got picked up from. So we might have to remove them, sometimes putting the noodles in those sealed containers, you know, the nuts into something with a plastic with a sealed jar lid are going to be helpful temporarily. You can vacuum those shelves up, wash them down if the source has been there, and get them removed and start over again by storing them.
What happens if you take a bite out of a cracker before you even realize you have it? If you accidentally ingest them, they're not going to hurt you.
No, most of the time we have a very small amount that would be a problem, but most of the time we recognize it before that happens because they start crawling around as we see them moving. So just making sure that we check those places out and start to look for them early to identify, really going to help us in the long run.
Alrighty, thanks much there, Steve. Check those pantries. That is today's Hands-On Gardening.